brothers and sisters, shalom, shalom. I was looking at this YouTube video on WGN News, right, out here in Chicago. And it's about a guy that did like 28 years in prison for basically a crime that he didn't commit, right? And I'm not saying that he may not have been in the streets moving and grooving, but a lot of times, man, when you be out here in these streets, sometimes you can get caught up in the situation and you wasn't even a part of the situation that you being caught up in. And then like sometimes you may have been doing other things, but you mess around and got to get set down for 28 years for something that you didn't even do. So I want to play this video, but before I play it, I just want to say this is fair use. This is not for entertainment.
Robert Johnson, a man who spent nearly 3 decades behind bars, is now a free man. A judge vacated his convictions and the court approved his release last night.
WGN's Christine Flores caught up with Johnson, who talks about his first night out of prison.
Good evening. Johnson was smiling from ear to ear when we caught up with him today. He describes what his first time at an arcade was like and what it's been like to be physically surrounded by family members. While he says he's still adjusting to his new life, he says he still wants to work with those who, just like him, were wrongfully convicted.
I'm on top of the world. I feel amazing. It's unbelievable.
Those are Robert Johnson's feelings after walking as a free man from the Cook County Jail nearly 24 hours ago.
I was laying in the bed earlier and I heard some noise, and it's the noise that you hear when they come through and count in prison. And I like raised up and I'm like, no, they not counting. I'm home. I don't have to worry.
All right, brothers and sisters, I wanted to stop the video because, I don't want to get a copyright strike, for playing videos that is not basically mine. But can you imagine being in jail for 28 years of your life? Or can you imagine going to jail for something that you didn't even do? And your mama, your daddy, or whoever, they can't save you. They can't save you. So you sit in prison for 20-something years of your life for something that you didn't do, and you don't even know. A lot of us, I can imagine what this guy been through. Matter of fact, I can't imagine what he been through when he was in prison. See, we don't know what this guy been through when he was in prison. He could have got raped. He could have got stabbed. I listen to a lot of podcasts that deal with prison stuff. They say sometimes, like, when you come to prison, and if the prisoners want to get you out of that facility, they'll jump on you just to get you moved to another facility, because you may not listen to their rules when you're in jail. Like, and the point of me saying this is that, this system, a lot of us don't really understand. This system was designed to dehumanize us as a people. See, the black man brought over here during the transatlantic slave trade, we wasn't really brought over here to endure the good life. We was brought over here to be persecuted. See, and this is what's going on with us today. See, this is what's going on with us today. And see, like the judicial system and stuff like that, they could have did a they could have did an investigation to see exactly what was going on during that time, but they didn't care. Just imagine you being a young kid in the streets, 16 years old, you know, the beginning of your life, coming into adulthood, and then the next thing you know, you got to go to jail for something that you didn't even do. And like I say, a lot of people don't even know the trauma that this brother went through when he was in prison. Only he knows that, and the people that work in the prisons or the inmates. Or just, you could take on a savage type of behavior because you don't want somebody to do something to you. See, a lot of times when you go to jail, you got to take on a certain type of persona. It's because if you don't become a savage, then you're going to become prey. See? Like, you could look at his face, you could tell that he done been through something. And see, a lot of times when these guys get out of prison, because they haven't properly been rehabilitated mentally, a lot of them have trauma from jail. And see, you say something to them and it may be come across to them the wrong way, it'll set them off, man. They can kill a whole household, because of the events that took place in their life, which then land them in prison. A lot of people become like, to go into the news story, he said he started to become very bitter when he was in jail, because here it is, he's in jail for something that he didn't do, and he can't even get out. That's why the so-called white man, see, that's why he's going to have to pay a heavy price, man. It's because of the things that he has done throughout history. They say innocence before proven guilty for a reason. That's why you're supposed to have a judicial system. A lot of times these lawyers and stuff like that, these public defenders, if they're not being paid, they don't even really care about your case. All they care about is they're being paid, but because they don't get paid millions of dollars, they don't care about you as individuals. And this is why the system is being judged to this day. And that's why I'm saying from my last video is that this is why it's very important for fathers to be in their children's life and to make sure their children is straight out here. And I'm not saying that a lot of times, you got certain parents, they do a lot for their kids, and their kids still end up being disrespectful and hard-headed and things of this nature. But I'm just saying that the parent's job is supposed to train the children for life, man. When your kid get out here in these streets, they got to understand what these streets is about. And where are they going to learn that from? They got to learn that at home. See? It's because a lot of the people out here that work for the police department, they hate black people. See? They hate the poor. And they will do anything to put the poor in prison. You know, I'm glad the brother is out of jail. I hope he filed a major lawsuit against the state of Illinois for what they have done to him throughout the years. But see, this is a perfect example of how the system does his people that live in the country. Just imagine you just left the crib, right? And you never even come back home. You in jail. And your mama and your daddy or whoever is your guardian, they trying to get you out of that situation. They can't even get you out of it. And they know you didn't do it. Let's look at the scripture. Let's turn to the book of Psalms, the 10th chapter. And I'm going to start at the 8th verse. It says, He sitteth in lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. See, you got a lot of these police officers. They have murdered people in the neighborhood. See? And it says, his eyes are privily set against the poor. And that's what I'm saying before. You got a lot of these people that's in office of power. They hate the poor. See? He laugh and wait secretly as a lion in his den. He laugh and wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth, it says, when he draweth him into his net. See? And what is a, you know, a lot of time, what is the net that we're being drawn into? This gang culture, drug dealing, pimping, see? A lot of the negative stuff that has been influenced in our neighborhoods. This is the net that's being cast out. And that's why you got a lot of our kids today, they're being what? They're being gobbled up by the net is because, you know, the net is tantalizing. You know, like when you go fishing, how you catch fish? You got to put bait on it. They not finna grab no hook, see? So what is the bait that is on the hook for us today? It's the gang culture. See, it's robbing and stealing. All that type of stuff. And a lot of us is not, you know, we don't know how to process things. And the next thing you know, we get caught up out here. And now we doing 30 and 40 years. Or when we come into our neighborhoods, you know, we're not properly instructed to understand that the police don't have your best interests at hand. And when you come across these police officers or people of authority, their whole purpose is to put you in prison, and they'll come up with something to put you in prison, and you didn't even do it. It says, he laugh and wait secretly as a lion in his den. He laugh and wait to catch the poor. He doeth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. He crouches and humble himself, that the poor may fall by his, it says, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. And see, that's the situation that we talking about today. See, like this brother, he did 28 years in prison for a crime that he didn't even do. And I'm not saying that he probably was innocent and stuff like that. He may have been doing things in the streets prior to this stuff happening. But see, a lot of times these people, man, they don't care about you. I know people personally that was running around in these streets. They weren't really listening to their parents. And they did 6, 7, 10 years in prison, man. And I can say that for myself because a lot of times I didn't listen to my mother. My mother used to always tell me, call her, give her a call. And I would never do that. I never call her just to tell her that I was okay. And I was the youngest of her kids, Or when it's time to go home and stuff like that, I never came home when I was supposed to. I always came home late. Now just imagine if I would have just, I'm coming home, I'm leaving the projects at about 8 o'clock at night, and next thing you know, I get picked up by the police, and then the police put something on me. Now I'm in jail for 28 years of my life for something that I didn't even do. So that's why young kids, we got to start to pay attention to a lot of times to our surroundings of where we at. See? Because if we don't, we may end up just like this brother here. Shalom.